So here we are. We're on Solmate at last, up the River Thames, but it doesn't feel like the River Thames. It feels more like a little creek actually, but I assure you that it is the River Thames. I'm here with owners Ruth and Iain. I nearly called him Ruth and Tim because you nearly got fired, Iain. You know, uh-oh. And
you have to take the helm.
And their lovely dog Maze, and we'll talk about Maze a little bit later. So you're a bit odd, you two, because you've lived on a boat before, on a sailboat.
Indeed.
That's right.
Yeah.
7 years on a 42-foot sailboat.
7 years. That's a long time.
Oh, it's nice.
You enjoyed it? Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't get divorced. We got married, not divorced. So yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
always a
been
good
bad.
sign.
That's really good. That's really good. And where did you sail?
We started off in Seattle, up down the Caribbean,
Yep.
across to Turkey, back
Yeah.
to the Caribbean,
Yeah.
back up to Chesapeake, and yeah.
So going across the Atlantic, how did you find that?
It was 90% preparation, 10% doing.
Right.
Once-
Okay.
If you get it all set up and you're ready,
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad. But we had a few interesting moments in bad weather.
Yeah.
You know, I think the thing about the Atlantic crossings is that it was busy. It
Really?
was always surprising how many large ships
Okay.
wanted the same piece of the ocean that we were in.
Right. Okay.
But coming back,
Yeah.
virtually no one, because we were heading down to Union Island, the southernmost of
Okay.
the
So you're off the
Greenwich-
shipping
yeah,
route. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you're going between the U.S. and Europe, boy howdy.
Yeah. It's quite busy.
Yes,
quite
sir.
busy.
It certainly is.
Indeed. Yeah. And did you feel better where there were ships around, or did you prefer it when you were out there on your own? Did you feel vulnerable at that point?
I didn't feel vulnerable ever.
No.
No.
No. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean, there were a couple
Yeah.
of moments that were
Yeah.
exciting, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Even when Iain appeared in his Tarzan shorts.
There was that.
It's like when we started, people were saying, "Well, aren't you going to get scared when you get away from the sight of land?"
Yeah.
But after about a month, you begin to feel more relaxed out of sight of land,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is quite the opposite of being in a narrowboat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed,
indeed.
indeed, yeah. So
yeah.
it's a very different type of boat, but it's still a boat. And what you need on a boat is different or the same?
Well, in a narrowboat, you're never too far from a Tesco's
Okay.
or a Londis.
Yeah.
So despite our initial thinking, you don't need quite as much food storage.
Right.
However, you do get guests coming and going more.
Yeah.
So you do need to accommodate them with more bedding and stuff like that. It's
Sure.
a bit hard for someone to join mid-Atlantic.
That's true, that's true. Now, I noticed that, Ruth, you've got an American accent
Indeed.
and you've got an English accent. You're from Preston, you're a Preston lad.
Well, originally Scotland. But
And
my
originally
formative
Scotland.
years are
Yeah,
in Preston.
okay.
His dad says he sounds like a
Indeed.
Yank.
Yeah, okay. So where do you live? Where's home normally?
We normally live in southern Maryland, about
Okay.
an hour and a half south of Washington, D.C.
Okay, and describe your house to me there.
Well, it's on about 1.5 acres of land on the water, and we could put about 5 boats on our pier, which leads off down a river to the Chesapeake Bay, then the ocean.
That
In
sounds-
fact, our old sailboat, we sailed up to that dock.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. That sounds
not bad at
beautiful.
all.
So this boat Solmate is going to be your UK base,
That's correct.
and so that's on the water, and then you live on the water in the States.
Right. Is there any reason to not live on the water?
Well, it is. And you've got a dog that's a Portuguese Water Dog.
Well, see, water is the common theme
yeah,
there.
Yeah. What does she think of the Thames?
She's been swimming in it a few times,
Okay.
not from the boat, but she's
Okay.
been swimming in, so she likes it. She thinks it tastes good.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
she does like it.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about the name Solmate. Where did that come from?
Well, when we were in the Caribbean on our last boat, we
Yep.
did drink quite a lot of Sol and did become one of our favourite beers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when Tim, you were pressing us on a name,
Jesus.
obviously Sol, meaning sun, is
Yeah.
it's clearly appropriate thing to fit in the name for something with solar panels.
Yeah.
And we like the logo on the beer bottle.
Okay. Okay.
So with your artistic talents, you turn that
Right.
into something that people are very impressed with.
Oh, well, that's good. It's
We
nice.
get a lot
nice.
of comments on it. You can't. This is not a boat that you can be on and think that you're traveling incognito,
Okay. Yeah.
because the color is unusual.
Mhm.
The lack of sound is highly unusual.
Yeah.
The fact that it's new and not all dinged up too much.
Yeah.
And then some of the fellas will see the Soul and they're like, "Is that all you drink aboard?"
So they get it straight away.
Some of the guys do. It's
Yeah.
really,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of, it's cool. But yeah, it's a boat that gets noticed.
Yeah. It caused
Well
a little.
done.
Thank you. And then this colour blue. Gosh, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like an aquamarine blue.
It was one of the turquoises.
Something turquoise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we went for a lighter, paler blue for the coach stripe. So then we had to marry that with the colour of the powder coating on the windows, which meant that we had blue on the inside,
Yeah.
and that created a little bit of a fuss for me. And then I had to make sense of your beer bottle obsession and beer obsession. So I designed a wallpaper to that's subtle, but it still hopefully tickles your fancy. How are you finding the wallpaper 2 weeks on?
I'm slightly shocked that you did such a good job.
Indeed.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice, and it's
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't. Well, I mean, I guess somewhere along here there's some William Morris house.
It's not too far actually, Kelmscott. It's a lovely place, and you
Yes.
really should go.
What the boat ahead of us last night said the exact same thing,
Yeah.
and I smiled and I thought, I'm just glad Tim didn't put that stuff on the inside of our boat.
Well, you do have a little bit of it.
Yeah, but
On
we
the
don't
Chaise
have it all.
Lounges.
Yes, but we don't have it all over the walls.
Yeah,
I mean,
indeed.
So
indeed.
although it's lovely
Yeah, yeah,
for other people,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not my
indeed.
not my speed.
Indeed. We're going to have a narrowboat coming up behind us now. I can hear it, and I can also see it. But you're moving along in stealth mode. So tell me about your motor, Iain.
Well, this one's got a 15 kilowatt water-cooled motor, which produces far more power than is useful on a narrowboat. But there's been times like the tidal crossing of the Ouse, where we've had to make some, use it to close to its full potential. But a lot about it is just so quiet.
That's fantastic.
So far we've had no problems at all.
It's startlingly quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
you've got the 20-inch prop as well, haven't you?
Yes.
So that means that you're getting the same propulsion, the same thrust out the back, with less
Less power.
RPM,
Yeah.
which
Makes it even
again,
quieter still.
indeed, yeah. Do you remember what the Newton meters thrust of this motor is?
Of course not.
Yeah, it's 240 Newton meters thrust, which is a huge amount for a motor like this, and most of the time it's not necessary. But what it does do is give you that huge bottom end power that enables you to travel along so peacefully. It's like a big V8 car. You meet a hill. You were talking to an American now. We know what big V8s are.
We do
And
indeed.
you can just purr up a hill.
Yep.
And that's kind of what's going on here.
You can accelerate up a hill.
Yeah.
And a nice V8.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. Sorry.
Yeah, you notice how they say this? You can accelerate up a hill. And and I appreciate that. I do, because
There's
it's
some
fun.
beauty in that.
Yeah,
Oh, it is fun.
I am, indeed, yeah. I've got a list of questions here.
Go right ahead.
And so, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the interior design of the boats. Now, you don't have too much storage on board.
No,
Do
we
you-
don't. But it's what I find is we actually need less than the stuff that we have aboard.
Really?
Well, certainly for me, I wasn't sure. I mean, to be fair, we're coming
I
here,
know.
and then we're headed to New Zealand to winter for the World Cup, and so I do have
Yeah.
I do.
Thank you. All right, yeah.
So I have more clothes aboard than I normally would, but I realized I could even have less.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the storage units that are under the drawbridge
Yes.
bed,
Yep.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Gives a lot of space to put all of the spare bedding,
Yes.
right? And we had his nephews, who were 6'1" and 6'2" aboard.
Yeah. If you put
And-
that together, that's 12 foot 3 inches,
They are not short boys.
which is a lot of nephew.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah.
nephew. And they're 20 and 17.
Yeah.
So,
I think does that mean we're arriving at the lock, does it?
yeah, the nephews fit on the chaises very well.
Do they? Okay.
They did, which
Yeah.
it's a good test.
Yeah, that is good. And did they have a good night's sleep?
They said they did. They
Yeah,
said
how-
they were comfortable.
how
And
ma-
they're
how many
17 and 20 years old.
Okay. How many bottles of Sol did they drink?
Yes. The younger one doesn't drink at all.
No?
No, he only drinks water. He's
Okay.
a funny lad.
Okay. Okay.
And the older one, he probably had just a couple of beers.
Okay.
They're just,
Okay.
they're nice boys.
Yeah, okay.
They really are.
Yeah. Well, they're Ian's nephews, aren't they? They'll be tame. Please tell me what you've got in the boat.
Well, if you go from bow to stern, right, we got the drawbridge
Yep.
bed, which is perfect. Tons of storage under it. The covers
Yes?
that you had made for them, they work great. She
Brilliant.
likes to sit up there.
Yep.
You come back, just have the head and the shower, and then you come and you have the chaise lounge and the little desk that he asked for.
Yes?
Oh, that's really helpful.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially and the hidden, sort of hidden monitor, the recessed
Yes.
monitor.
Yes. Yes.
That worked well.
It's a nice idea, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's we only break it out for the World Cup games.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the little breakfast bar, we found chairs that once y'all were able to cut them down a
Yes,
bit, they work quite well.
Yep. Yep.
And then the galley.
Yeah.
The galley's actually surprisingly spacious.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have the little pretend head
Yes. Yes. Indeed. Yeah.
that is, I believe, a nod to his friend.
Yeah.
And that's where we just throw stuff.
Yes. Okay.
Right. I mean, there's a small portable, chemical toilet. but-
Yes. Yeah. 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 No, that's good. And you've got a DC fridge as well.
We do.
How have you found that? And that's a freezer fridge, isn't it? A fridge freezer.
Yeah.
With an ice box in it.
Yeah, it works really well, and certainly it's more efficient than running the inverter overnight
Yes.
to keep fridge cold. So that's been a big saving in
Yeah.
electricity.
Okay. So you turn your inverter off overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it off all the time unless we need it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
The loudest thing in the area is
And that
the
comes
swan.
and a lot of that comes from our past in sailboat, where
Yes.
every bit of power was precious.
Yeah.
We didn't have the 24 kilowatt hours of
Yeah.
lithium batteries like we do in this
Yeah.
boat.
Yes.
Well, and our solar panels were,
Yeah.
there were 2 as opposed to 10. And,
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there were 15 years behind in technology relative
Yes.
to these. So,
Yes.
it's just a whole different game.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's really fantastic what the solar powers do pump out.
Right.
And the weather has, it's today now is a lovely day, but it's not always kind in Britain, as you found out.
Those British summers. Boy, howdy.
Indeed. But you've managed fairly well on with the solar panels to do the travelling that you've done
Oh, yeah.
and showers. Because I found showers the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about once a week we've run the gen set, maybe twice. But there are charge points around,
Yeah.
which can be used. Tonight
Yeah.
we'll be on a charge point.
Yes.
It'll be the
So-
3rd time, though, in, 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
the trick
Yeah.
is not to use too much.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Which
The-
is, spending that time on BISM on our sailboat certainly trains you.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And also everything's lead or 12 volt. I mean, it's been designed with the notion of how much power are you going to consume.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
What's up?
Do you find that because the boat is quiet, that you want to travel slower? Do you find that?
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, hop down. Go down into the shade.
So we're going to get into
Yeah, they wanted us in first.
Okay.
Oh, because
There we go. Well, this is exciting.
Oh, whoa, we don't have to do any work?
No.
Jeez, I love this.
How do you find the maneuverability of the boat?
The boat's fine. The main issue is my inabilities.
Right. Okay.
But, it is, 58 foot long.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah.
So it does not turn on a dime, as they say in America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it does turn on a dime,
Wow.
but it all spins around the middle, and you've got the half a 58 foot going either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives it a lot of angular momentum.
Indeed. Yeah. So I find when I'm driving a narrowboat, or sailing a narrowboat, is that I've got to be thinking more about what the back end's doing rather than the front end.
Oh.
Yes.
Which,
I
is,
can understand that.
Yeah. And do you find, because I've had a lot of comments about the electric motors, in comparison to diesel motors, because you've got that instant torque, that they are more manoeuvrable than diesel boats. I mean, I'm not sure if you have much of a comparison there.
It's a long time since I've spent much time in a diesel narrowboat, so I'm not the person, but I certainly can't complain about the engine's responsiveness. But as Ruth said, there's only so much you can do if you've got 18 tons moving at any speed.
Yeah.
It does take a little bit of time for any motor,
Yeah.
but the electric motor certainly spins up amazingly quickly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the engine had spun up in the morning. I was a little hesitant to...
Yeah. I
Give
think that's familiarity. Yeah.
Oh, I think you're
Yeah.
absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was glad to take it off the bank. There's nothing to hit.
Indeed. I think the thing to bear in mind is everything seems to happen at a slow speed, but you get into trouble real quick.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're moving slowly, and then I was like, ho, 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 ho.
Yeah. It's a game of chess. You have to think ahead, and if you've got that going, then
You
you're
have a
all
fighting
right.
chance.
And I'm just worrying about where your back end is.
Yep.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. No, but it's a lovely boat.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That good dog. That good dog.
Best dog on the boat.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And we certainly appreciate the additions you made to accommodate our favourite guest here, the dog. The little deck washes
Oh, man.
are both for fore and aft,
Which is nice.
and also the handles that you see here, as well as the little lip on the rails
Yes.
in the top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's far easier for Ruth, who has some balance issues, to get around the boat safely and,
Yeah.
and feel comfortable.
You've been off the boat, you've been shopping or what have you, and then you step on board and you go inside. How do you feel? What does this boat make you feel?
It's nice. It's got nice, clean lines. There's not a lot of clutter,
Yeah.
so it feels really comfortable. We're not clutter people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it feels comfortable.
But there's a modern take on things, but it's not modern.
I was gonna say it's modern, but I stopped myself because it's
Yeah.
not quite. It's modern with a very kind nod to the past.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pine.
Yes. Yeah. An all reclaimed pine as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. And so the occasional little nail holes and
there's more than an occasional nail hole.
yeah. But I mean, it gives it a good feel,
Yeah.
right?
There's a story
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, I get that on my boat after I've been away for the weekend. I live in a house during the weekend, and I come to work and I live on my narrowboat during the week.
Yeah.
And I get on board the boat, and I always make a point of cleaning it before I leave.
Yeah.
And I go and I relax. It's a strange, sort of, it's almost indescribable how, but it's a sort of it's a grounding, and yet I'm on the water. I feel a lot.
You feel at home.
Yeah, I feel at home, but more than that, it's as if the water can wash all your troubles away. It's a funny sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes, the shower works well.
So, both of you, thank you very much for taking me out on your boat and making this little video. I hope you're very happy on board Solmate.
It's really nice.
Any issues, give me a call.
No,
I'm sure you will.
Thank you for building this wonderful boat for us.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, Tim.
Yeah, well, that's great.